All right. Thank you so much for coming out on a lovely evening here at Scripps College. Welcome to tonight's programming. I'm Dr. Myriam Chancy. I'm the Hartley Burr Alexander Chair in the Humanities here at Scripps College. And I'm also the Interim Director of the Humanities Institute for this academic calendar year. And we're trying a few different things this year. So to let you know about the theme for the year, it's called World Wounds, Decentering the World, Recentering Wounds. And what we're trying to do is examine the ways in which well-documented disasters are being negotiated in the present day. And we ask several questions, which is how might we institute better, more humane and humanistic responses to disasters, whether natural or man-made, so historical or geopolitical or part of a natural world. How might we engender more productive conversations about the visions and failures of disaster prevention and disaster relief? The Humanities Institute will address those questions and more as part of its year-long slate of public events. For the fall schedule, what we've been doing is centering on a sub-theme, Decentering the World, and looking at how communities persist beyond and despite historical and natural setbacks to build hopeful collective visions for the future. And fittingly, given that on Monday we celebrated Indigenous Day here in California, I want to cite a phrase of a Latinx colleague, Professor John Moran Gonzalez of the University of Texas at El Paso, UTEP, who states, quote, that maybe this is an opportunity, quote, to let's honor the ancestors instead of a genocide. So this evening, what we have is a program looking at hip-hop as part of a hip-hop summit for the week, and looking specifically at Chicago Footwork and how it has become and is a liberatory form of art coming out of hip-hop culture. And so there are quite a few people to introduce to you, and I'm just so happy to do it. Before I do so, I should also thank Scripps Presents, Public Events, the dance department, which hosted our dancers earlier today, the Intercollegiate Department of Africana Studies as well, which provided some partial funding, and CGU Cultural Studies. So lots of co-sponsors, which is really nice. I wanted first to give credit to Dr. ShaDawn Battle, who is right here, who she doesn't know this, but I've been calling her the co-curator for Hip Hop Summit because she has been instrumental in bringing some of the people that we have here tonight and other evenings this week. She's also a former student of mine, so I'm very proud of her. She's an assistant professor at Wittenberg University. Her areas of study include African American literature, Afro-diasporic studies, and hip hop studies. She writes on Black masculine and feminine politics, intersecting hip hop, anti-colonial discourse, Black feminist and critical race theory, epistemology, and literature that spans the Black diaspora. Her recent publications include Singing the Blues for Black Male Bodies, Genealogical Interpretation of Plato's Allegory through the Lens of Jay-Z, the Re-envisioned Philosopher King, and also Singing the Blues for Black Male Bodies, Epistemic Violence, Non-Alterity, and Black Male Killings. Her current research project explores Chicago's South Side footwear culture, nation building, race construction, and the politics of home, and is tentatively titled Reimagining Community and Interrogating the Politics of Home through Chicago Footwork. And we're actually, after I finish with the introductions, going to give you a preview from a documentary that she's making on footwork as we speak today. So we have three dancers who have come all the way, I think, from the Midwest, right, to grace us with our presence. Very accomplished dancers, as you will hear from their bios. We have Donetta Lil Bit Jackson. I have to give a little wave. Who's a dynamic and versatile dancer whose skill has brought her international acclaim. She was born and raised on the south side of Chicago, Illinois, where she began dancing at the Sammy Dyer School of Theater at the age of 7. At 11 years old, she became one of the original members of a prestigious MADD, or Mad Rhythms Tap Company, and later joined the Chicago footwork group Creation Battle Click Creation Global, which led her to the internationally recognized dance ensemble, the Chicago Footwork Kings. She was recently a featured dancer for Grammy Award-winning artist Chance the Rapper's Sunday Candy and Angel's music videos. She's performed internationally and was a performer with Chicago Footwork Kings on season 6 of MTV's America's Best Dance Crew, and she tells us respect the dance. Our next dancer is Chicago footworker Jron, Prince Jron Boyd. Wave out. He is known for his ultra-smooth style and complex combos. He's the founder of Havoc, which is one of Chicago's top footwork battle crews. Prince Jron coaches for the Homewood Flossmoor Steppers, which has won first-place national titles. He's also an original member and choreographer of the all-star dance company Chicago Footworkings. The Footworkings dance company has been seen on America's Best Dance Crew, America's Got Talent, and he has worked with artists such as Missy Elliott, Willow Smith, will.i.am, and others. He's toured the world for many years with Madonna, and from that became one of the first pioneers to teach and spread Chicago footwork worldwide. Lastly, but not last, we have Paz Eddie. Wave out. Also hailing from Chicago, Paz Eddie began dancing at the age of 15 and has not looked back since. Out of options with nowhere to turn and eager to avoid the violence that plagued his neighborhood, Paz picked up dance as a creative outlet. What began as just a hobby, Paz quickly turned into a full-fledged career, teaching all over the US in studios such as Broadway Dance Center, Debbie Reynolds, Millennium Dance Company, Creative Minds, and Hubbard Street, just to name a few. On top of his various teaching credentials, Paz has performed on some of the biggest stages, including MTV's ABDC, America's Got Talent, World of Dance, Apollo, Man Be on the Beach, Pitchfork, and Chance the Rapper's Magnificent Coloring Day Tour. Always remembering his roots, he constantly gives back to the community by training dancers through his company, Creation. He has also donated his time to different local programs, such as After School Matters, as well as teaching at low-income project areas, to help encourage the youth to better their lives. His unwavering drive to keep pushing his art is motivated by his peers, friends, and families, and the tragic death of his brother, Kendall. Through all the sacrifice and struggle, he hopes to show that with drive and positive energy, anything is possible. Finally, behind me, you see these two gentlemen who are collectively Juke Bounce Work, so they're our DJs for tonight. They began as a local monthly event in Los Angeles in the spring of 2013 and have since flourished into a weekly staple rock steady, hosting and supporting the likes of the genre's heavyweights, including R.P. Boo, Jay Lynn, DJ Earl, DJ Clint, Gantman, DJ Spin, and more. Juke Bounce Work soon became an essential music platform via their SoundCloud through implementation of a weekly Top 10 Mix series, which saw participation from artists around the globe. The series became the go-to standard for the worldwide juke and footwork music community. They saw their first various artist EP release in the summer of 2014 and have since released over 24 artist compilations and solo artist projects to date. They continue to push the sound as one of the most active DJ crews in Los Angeles, so we're really proud to have him here, and have played the Chicago Mecca of Footwork Battlegrounds as well as Battle Train Tokyo in Japan. So we have a lot of talent coming out on this stage this evening. We're really happy that you're here with us. The way the evening is going to roll is that we are going to start with the preview from the documentary. Then the dancers are going to come and do an interactive demo with all of you, so be prepared to really notice what's happening and interact. And then they will take a slight break as the stage is reset for them so that they can sit and have a conversation. Dr. Battle will interview the dancers about their life in footwork and the work that they do. And then from there, we will transition to a Q&A so that you can all ask the questions you'd like to ask. And that'll be our hopefully beautiful evening together. So thank you for coming, and let's welcome the dancers again.
Chicago known for its pizza, but when you from the hood, like Chicago is about footwork.
I saw Chicago Footwork and I was like, what is this? Like, somebody tell me what this is. Oh, that's footworking. You don't know what footwork is?
Chicago Footwork is a way where you can put out something that you can go through in your life.
To get the young kids off the streets, let them get into dancing, some that want to express their talent.
I dance with pain. I dance from being hurt.
I mean, once the beat hit me, I let my feet do what it's supposed to do.
When I hear the music, I try to become the music. I'm painting a picture for the audience to see.
We supposed to be playing basketball. I'm sitting there doing moves till the ball get past him. Hey man, get your dance in there. You feel me? Like,
even though I wasn't expecting to footwork, now I really can't see my life without it.
We wanted to juke like the boys.
And when the girl wasn't present in them circles, they was footworking.
That one was serious.
Extreme, high energy, like 0 or 100.
Footwork, you couldn't even juke to a footwork track. 160, it was too fast.
Deadly gun violence is surging in Chicago once again. Police say at least 57 people were shot since Friday evening during one of the most violent weekends on record.
police cars all right here. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news. I'm damn my daddy did. I just knew it.
Now it's more crime than you see, because they not really dancing no more like they used to.
Whoever knew y'all to be mothers? True.
Man. Whoever knew my kids would still be alive.
I was around in the circles in the basement parties, and guns would fall out people's waists on the floor while I'm footworking.
Gang mentality, all that stuff, there's qualities in all of it. Are you the good person that's destined to be a part of this culture that needs to go to Chicago and like stop somebody from killing themselves?
Well, I believe if the kids doesn't join house smash, they either join the gang or be out here selling drugs and end up going to jail. Or worse, yeah.
Different slang. Oh, thank you. Each neighborhood has its own different slang, and sometimes being on one side of Chicago, you may not understand what another side is saying. But when I saw this dance, it was just one language. And Chicago footwork, the speed of it is very fast, and it seems like it's just fast kicks. But actually, when I first saw it, I started breaking it down to the simplest of an atom, and I made this thing called the Chicago Footwork Bible. And it's basically a manual to understand what is going on to the most simplest aspect. So without further ado, I'm gonna start with page 3 of the Bible, and then I'm gonna work my page to, the page 1 to page 2, so you understand. So page 3 is foundation. Every dance style has a foundation to make combos, to make things more complex. But everything has a beginning point. Chicago Footwork has tons of foundational steps, we call it basics, all right? So I'm only going to just showcase probably 2, but throughout the day, you're going to see different basics in our routines. So one step is, I would say, the running man, all right? So the running man, I'm gonna do it sideways so you can see. All right, that's one. But remember, you can add that to different other basics to make a combination. So I will show a second one. One would be the Erkin jerks. It's simple. But the speed, when you start mixing them together, you may get confused if I was to do Erkin jerk into the running man. It was still both of those 2 simple steps, but they look very complicated when you start mixing, matching it, intermingling. So can I try with some music, to some house music? All right. So you could do this basic foundation steps to any music, all right? House music. All right, see? Thank you, DJ. All right. So, never get confused with the speed. Sometimes when people learn Chicago footwork and they see the speed, oh, I can't do it, it's so fast, I can't do it. So, that right there was house. Over in Chicago, the music started speeding up over time. So, it went to ghetto house, which was faster than that, and then it went to juke, which was faster than that. But you will hear the music over in our shows that we're gonna do. So going to the second page, I will say you have 5 stages. One will be, it can be done in place. Okay, that's still the running man. 2, it can be using the floor, any direction, diagonal, right, go back, forward. All right, 2 is work the floor. 3 would be rotational. Anything in a circle. It could be full circle, half circle, doesn't matter. Anything that's rotation, that's number 3. Number 4 and 5 sometimes get confusing. 4 is time. Anything slow or fast, and that means you're playing with the speed, but you're never stopping the movement. For example, let's say Erkin jerks. That's what I did, was just this. Slow, fast, slow. All right, so I'm changing the tempo of the speed of the kicks. But the 5th element of Chicago footwork would be ticking, or sometimes some may say pictures. It's a stop movement. So for example, same move. All right, so sometimes it can confuse, you both playing with time, but on 4 is, I'm never stopping the movement. If I go fast or slow, I'm never stopping the actual movement, whereas 5 is ticking. So in the 5 elements, you get in place, that's 1, right? In place. 2, travel, any direction, working the floor. 3, rotation. 4, with the speed, slow or fast. 5 would be ticking or pictures. Any foundational step can be in any of those numbers, okay? And this goes with any dance style. If you watch any dance style, all those elements is in that style. Now, page 1, our body is a temple. But I want to first do that to some music first, to ghetto house, so they can hear the difference, yes. Music is a little faster than house, all right? The speed is a little faster, all right? I'm still gonna do the same foundational steps. In place. Work the floor. Rotate. Play with time. Okay, so I went to fly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Each element puts that little seasoning, that sauce to it, all right? So now I'm gonna go to page 1. Woo, page 1. So simple, makes a big difference. Page 1 is our body is a temple, okay? This is a pillar. You got 5 steps to your pillar. 1, ground. Touching the ground, any movement on the ground is stage 1. Crouching or bent, that's number 2. Any move done on this platform. 3, regular height, comfortably. 4 will be on your tippy toes. Or in the streets, sometimes we say, get big. And then 5 will be in the air. Anything in the air. You can never be in 2 of the pillars at the same time. Can't be in the air and on the ground at the same time. It's not physically possible. You know. So, when you add that element with page 2, the combinations and possibilities are endless. Remind you, I'm only working with 2 foundation steps up here. It's a million foundation steps, so you do the math with that. So, can I hear some juke music, which is faster than ghetto house, which is faster than house? Okay? Now, I'm gonna use the Running Man, different pillars. Regular height. Number 2. Number 1. 4. Number 5. All right, thank you, DJ. So I never changed the footwork though. The foundation always stayed the same. How I painted the picture was depending on what number I wanted to go to. Now, if you mix 1 and 2, for example, if I was to go stay in place to the ground, travel, rotate in the air, play with the time coming back. You can mix and match, crazy. So, yeah. So, throughout today, you're gonna see us doing a lot of different basic steps. You may see some rotational spins. You may see some stuff in place, some working the floor. Just remember those 5 steps. We got 5 pillars: ground, crouch, regular height, tall, in the air. Second page, we got 5 movements and elements, which is in place: travel, rotate, the time, and then also ticking. So I'm gonna come back later on and be like, did you see any rotation, any spins? Did you see anything playing with the time? Did you see any slow motion? All right, so we're gonna be a little, see who's paying attention to the footwork, okay? All right, so without further ado, is there anything else you wanna say before? Okay, so we're gonna get started to, let's start off with, she doesn't need a mic. I'm gonna sit this right here.
Wireless mic might be a little bit better. Sorry.
Thank you. How y'all doing? Y'all enjoying the show so far? So, I'm gonna give y'all a little history lesson real quick. In the beginning, there was the creator. And the creator gave us the ancestors, and the ancestors gave us the rhythm. But there are a few similarities between tap dance and Chicago footwork, And tap dance is one of the inspirations to Chicago Footwork. So I'm gonna bring Jron out here so we can do a little routine together, but I'm gonna be tap dancing and he's gonna be Chicago Footwork.
All right, 3 brave souls. Who can identify some of the pages of the characteristics from each page of the Bible? At least one. Yeah.
Between that flurry of amazingness, I saw the foundation, I saw the running man.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with one.
The running man, okay, good.
I saw some touching the floor, so like level 1.
Okay, level 1, touching the floor. That's level 1, Jron. Yeah, good. Yeah. Traveling. All right, one more. And rotation. Good. All right, y'all paying attention? house routine. What did y'all notice? It was a lot more hand movement. Okay. I saw a hand. Okay. Ground. Anything else? Dope. All right. Oh, different time changes. Okay. Good stuff. All right, a little bit. Okay, so there are like 5 generations currently of Chicago Footwork. I represent 2nd generation. A little bit here represents 4th generation. By the time she came on the scene, we're close in age roughly, but by the time she came on the scene, I went away to school, and so we really didn't get a chance to cross paths in the culture until like recently, really. And that was until Jron connected us, and it happened somewhat serendipitously, so I'm not surprised that we instantly forged a friendship. We started labbing together. She started teaching me some of the newer moves from the 4th generation, because I missed like 10 years of the culture because I was away. And one of the things we talked about was how like this is a male-dominated space oftentimes, and like a lot of times like the women even co-opt some of like the masculine ethos and values. And so what we wanted to do was like carve out like a black woman-centered space. And so we performed this routine downtown in Chicago. And shout out to Paul's, because he actually filmed the routine. I don't know where he just disappeared to. But yeah, so we call this 2 girls, 2 generations.
Y'all ready?
Our routine had to be short, so I'm kind of proud. I'm a little bit older than them. Okay, so what'd you notice? Yep. Good. Some ticking. What else? Rotation. Anything else? Yeah. Crouching level. Good. Speed changes. Thank you.
Okay, so as the generation started growing, I was one of the younger people, and we wanted to step out the box and start dancing to just regular music. So that could be hip hop, R&B, EDM, just different music from our culture instead of juke music or house music, ghetto house. Just because it was a challenge and it was different. Now, the thing about Chicago Footwork is that when we're in parties in Chicago, they mostly play a lot of music. Like, juke music comes on for like 5 minutes, if that. So just imagine being in a party for 2 hours. You're a footworker, but your music might not come on. So which means you are forced to know how to dance to every other thing if you want to do Chicago Footwork. But we wanted to like make it more advanced and start making routines and freestyling off of it, just to show that it wasn't a weakness. And that's understanding that you're more than just a Chicago footworker, you're a dancer. So we're gonna show you guys also how Footwork looks to hip hop music instead of juke music.
Spinning it from uptown, I put all of us down. Yeah, oh, when I eat, down in that trash, hit it over. In the kitchen, with the dough, I do the shot order. Run on picket, we gon' hit it, that's the same soda. Put that billy to the limit, you can shut up order. Spinning it, this really chulo. When I pull up in that tudo, got the different color. Oh, my body's in it, so me, my name in my pocket, look like sumo. I got money in the hands, I think about you, we gon' hit you with that, you know. Smoke a low, kick it like a judo.
I know what you're thinking. Are they human? I cannot dance that fast. All right. What'd you notice? Yep. Okay. Embodied lyricism. That's good. What else? I mean, it was a lot. Lots of speed changes, especially in the beginning. They started off really slowly. Anybody else? Yeah.
For the speed changes, they went from like 0 to 100.
0 to 100 real quick. Real quick.
No, I just passed out.
Okay, wasn't that amazing? Absolutely breathtaking. Let's give him a hand again. So we're going to have a little stage change here. I think we have some helpers who are going to help us bring out some chairs and set things up again. And Dr. Battle will be interviewing the dancers from the stage.
All right, so I'm just gonna ask them a few questions and yeah, let's get started. So can y'all each talk about like how y'all got into Chicago footwork culture and like what it means to you or how it may have like changed your life in any capacity?
Yo. Okay, so I got into Chicago footwork. I was in high school, and I was in the lunchroom. I saw what I thought was a fight going down in the lunchroom. So I ran to see what was going on. But when I got a chance to peek inside the circle of all the commotion, it was actually two footworkers battling. And it was my first time, so I'm like, what is going on? The energy, like I said earlier, was spiritual as it had everybody in unison of cheering for both sides, and it was just explosive. Right then and there, I stopped them as far as, I need to learn this, where can I learn? And they was like, yo, come with me to this party this weekend, to this King of the Circle. Went to the King of the Circle, and that's basically this footwork competition from all footworkers across Chicago come for this one time out the year to battle. And in the video presentation, I think y'all saw like a stage and people going crazy. That was the King of the Circle. So from there, it just took over my life. And footwork, it saved my life. I could have been in a lot of negative stuff in my neighborhood, but it occupied my time, gave me something positive to do. It was a positive outlet, and it connected me with so many positive people.
Can y'all hear me? I'm not using this. Can y'all hear me just fine? Yeah. Here, you can work.
All right.
So, I'm a tap dancer first, and my company, Mad Rhythms, that I'm in, Mad Rhythms, and y'all heard us talk about Footwork Kings. We used to be on the same show a lot of the times, and so then Footwork Kings and Mad Rhythms built a relationship as to where they would do our shows and we would do their shows. So then one year they did our show, and I was watching them practice. And they probably ran it like 3 or 4 times, but I was sitting there watching, and by the time they were finished, I knew the whole routine. So I went up to them and I was like, y'all, look what I know. And so then I showed them, they was like, how do you know that? I was like, well, I just watched y'all do it like 4 times. And so they was like, that's crazy. So Charles, he is
Just
like,
4 times,
crazy.
like, did the whole routine.
So then, that was our school show that we had, and the whole company, the whole Footwork Kings wasn't there, so the rest of them came to the big show at night. And TJ, who is a member, he was a member of Footwork Kings, him and Charles just happened to walk past each other at the same time that I was walking towards the stage. So he was like, hey, come show him what you know. And I was like, no, why would you put me on the spot like that? No. And so then he was like, come on, let me see. I was like, well, let me change it to my next costume, and then I'll be back. So then I went back, and I showed him what I knew, and then he was like, okay, learn this. And I was intrigued, and so then he told me to come to creation practice, and I was like, oh, it's creation. I don't know what that is. He's like, it's a battle click. I was like, you're speaking a foreign language to me. I have no clue what you're talking about right now. So then he was like, it's a battle click. There's a whole community. I had no clue there was a whole community of footworkers because they were the first ones that I saw doing it like that. And I just thought it was something that people did around Chicago because I used to see it growing up, but I didn't know it was like that heavy. So then he was like, come to practice. So then this was 2009. I went to my first creation practice November 10th, 2009. And ever since the first day, I never stopped going back, and I was like, okay, I need to figure out what this is talking about. So then I got better, and it changed my life because once I got into Footwork Kings, like, I just started getting all of these opportunities, and then even when Footwork Kings was done in creation, decided to, like, keep performing. And then I started making a name for myself, and then people would call me for footwork gigs, and I was like, had you asked me that day what I saw happening in my life in the next 5 years, footworking would have not been a part of that whatsoever. And now, footworking and tap dance are both equal in my life. I get a lot of opportunities, industry jobs, non-industry jobs, youth jobs, you know, whatever to give back. And footwork gave me a different outlet than tap dance could because the worlds are just different. So then even in footworking, sometimes they don't understand the tap dancer side of me, and even in tap dancing, sometimes they don't understand the footworking side of me. But, I mean, personally, I feel like, it's not for you two. I'm the only one that does both, so I'm really the only one that will understand it in that language. And so I just...
What's one of the biggest differences between the two worlds?
The aggression. So when I came to the footwork world and I learned about battling, I hated it. I just was like, why y'all so mean and angry and like, why are y'all making me do this? And so I had to learn how to battle in creation, but I couldn't really get it together because I'm like, y'all are my family. I don't know, unless you make me upset, I don't really know how to just come into practice like, hey, how y'all doing? And then just get angry at you. Like, you're on my team. So then I figured it out because tap dancing, we have little battles called the cutting contest, but it's not aggressive and angry. It's like we having a conversation, but I'm gonna cut you so I can win, and it's just that. Footworking, it's mean and it's so angry, and I feel like, not that it changed me for the worse, but I feel like it changed my attitude so that I got to a point that even when I walked into creation practice, I'm like, hey, how y'all doing? But I'ma still burn you in practice today. Which means you're gonna get balled up, we're gonna battle and I'm gonna win. And you're gonna lose bad. So, they taught me, it took me a minute to get it because he spoke about Kendall. Kendall was a part of creation, and mind you, I had gotten creation in 2009, and I didn't really feel like I figured it out until Kendall passed. Because we all went to a party, and I kid you not, I really, a song came on, and I literally felt like he pushed me out there. I felt hands push me out there. But no one was standing behind me because I looked at my team, and they were all there. I'm like, okay, Kendall, I hear you. And then at that point was when I feel like it just all locked in for me. And from that point on, it just did this. It was no more here. It just became unstoppable, and I feel like since Kendall is not here anymore, that he moves through all of us to keep his legacy alive, as well as creations. And, yeah.
Good. She just answered 6 of my questions. That's all right. That's good. Pause.
So basically, to make this real short, in Chicago, you young, but you live an older life quick. If you're in an environment where you're stuck, so that means low-income housing projects, basically what you're only surrounded by. So at that age, 14, 15, I was already making negative decisions, and I was trying to find a way to get out. And then I started I had moved from the other side of Chicago to an area that I was nowhere near used to, and gang affiliations and stuff like that was total opposite of where I was from. So since I didn't know nobody, I really was on some I need to change my life around. So I had the group that we talk about creation. I had asked a guy if I could come to practice, and he was open arms. And I started going to practice. But at that moment, I knew I was gonna sacrifice and stop everything I was doing, and just completely put my all in this. Cause I knew when I was younger, I knew what my goal was, and my goal was definitely to be one of the best. Because of who I was looking up to and who I was surrounded by was the best. So it's kind of if you don't get close to the best, I feel like it's your fault. You know what I'm saying? It's like being around millionaires and you never become a millionaire. That makes no sense, So that happened. I took footworking serious on the battling tip because I was already a street dude. So all I did was basically apply my street rules to footwork. And was super aggressive, super mean. I really lived it. I felt it. At that young age, I could do everything I wanted to do in the street towards a person visually, but battling and represent something positive. When I realized I really cared about footworking, is when I started performing. When I started performing, it started started helping me understand who I was as a person. And then when I started teaching, I started understanding how many people I was inspiring from a positive impact. And that shit feels good. So once it felt so good, I was like, man, I want to keep feeling this. You know what I'm saying? So I just kept pushing with Footwork, and then before I knew it, everyone just loved me. And it wasn't that everyone loved me, but I think as an artist or any person that has a dream, when you so focused on just being good, you don't focus too much on nothing but your craft. So just imagine like as an artist you play probably every day. That person probably is nonstop working. You know what I'm saying? Like to deliver great music for you, but also for themselves. And that's what I was doing. Like I was winning battles for my group. I was performing for my group. I was holding it down for my mom and them. You know what I'm saying? So my strength and everything was growing so fast, and then I just fell in love with it.
It's good. It's good. Jron, so one of the concepts I want to explore in my book is how, and you guys kind of broached the subject, but how footwork can be used as a language, right? So how we could use footwork to communicate. And you and I had a conversation before, and you told me that this is the way that I communicate. Like, this is the way that, like, if I want to introduce myself to somebody, sometimes it's through footwork with no words. What does that look like, and can you explain that story?
All right, so, yeah, that's, it's crazy because when I started footworking, that was like 2002, still like internet was like kind of fresh, but it wasn't really social media like it is now. So we didn't really have the opportunity to look up Chicago footwork on the internet, on YouTube. It was just word by mouth of this person, he's really good, he got braids, he's light-skinned, he do a lot of crazy moves, he be usually at the Markham parties, and he's like throwing up a C because his crew called Creation. That's all you had. Like no picture, no nothing, so you're just looking for a certain person that fit that description at that skating rink in that area, and then it's like a video game. Like you're going on an adventure, following the clues, and then you meet the person that you like, okay, he got braids, light skin, I think he just threw up a C, that must be King Charles. Like, you know, so long story short, it happened a lot of times. And one legendary footworker, his name was BB, and I always heard about this dude, but he stopped dancing around the time that I got good. So basically in Chicago footwork, the whole point of the video game is you find a person that's good and you try to destroy them in front of a crowd of people so you can steal their rap. So it's like, you the king now, like you just took the juice. Basically, that's what it is. So, I mean, I got approached at gas stations, in the bathroom, lunchroom, like, you're not safe if you that good. So
Wait, King Charles told me a story about how he used to work at Popeyes. And,
yeah, they come to your job.
And they would come to your job and battle you on your jobs.
Yeah, literally, it's crazy. You know, everybody needs the respect. The respect that come with it is some genuine love, like Paul said. So this legendary dude named BB, the clues I had was he was an old school footworker. He's a master at doing spins. And he's from a crew called Final Chapter, which I got a chance to meet one of the members. And so I was familiar with the style. They do a lot of stuff on their heels. So those was like some of the things. I didn't know how he looked, so I didn't have no description of hairstyles to look for. So basically, I was doing an audition for one of my members that's amazing now, but at the time he sucked. But he was trying to join the crew, and I'm like, I don't know if I feel like working with this dude. But we didn't have dance studios, so our practices was in the middle of a public street. Like when cars stopped coming, all right, now we footwork. When a car comes, we stop footworking. So we're in the middle of the street having a battle. Basically, he's battling us to prove to us that he's worthy to be in our crew, to be trained. So while he's dancing, a car go past, pull over to the side, which is very usual. When you footwork in Chicago, it builds crowds. And the guy come out with a white T-shirt, and just standing there looking like this. I'm not dancing. I'm just on the car letting my members test this dude out. But I'm watching the scene like, who is this dude? Oh, maybe it's just somebody that spectated. All of a sudden, he tapped the person that's trying out as far as, because he didn't say no words. He didn't say hello, hey, what you guys are, nothing. Just quietly walked up, tapped the person, which was, don't dance, I'm gonna dance for you. Seriously, and he just started taking off. So we like, whoa, he know how to footwork. My younger members don't know anything of the stories that I know. So while he's dancing, I'm starting to see certain moves. I see him doing stuff on his heels. I'm like, okay, he's old school by the way he started off. That style looked like Final Chapter. But, So second round, he goes again. I'm noticing again, like, this dude, he's really good. But I could tell he hasn't been dancing in a while. But then I thought about it. Could this be that dude named BB? So I just said while he was dancing, I was like, hey, hit some spins. You can't do no spins. Without thinking, he just instantly was like, woo, 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 woo. I'm like, oh, that's him. I didn't say anything. The only communication I had with him was hit some spins. Once I saw that, I moved my members out the way. Like, you're not ready for this dude. Like, this is a legendary dude named BB. Like, y'all have no idea what y'all in front of right now. This is greatness. So I started footworking towards him. Not in a disrespectful way, but in a greeting of, I'm from, he's battling newer footworkers. So in the style of footwork that we're in now, is the younger the generation, the more tricks and all these big moves, less fundamental basics. So more old school generation, they have more fundamentals, which is the basics, like I was showing you. So when I approached BB in a footworking way, as a greeting, I did foundation steps to show him I know my history. I was doing Irk and Jerks, Running Man, and he's nodding like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's not no just new school footworker that's doing all this breakneck and all this other crap that don't got nothing to do with the feet. But he was nodding, you know, and it's crazy because I got this like videotape. Like, it's crazy. I didn't know I was going to capture this whole footwork conversation with no words on tape. And so he's nodding while I'm dancing, as in the exchange of, I see you, I understand. You do know the old generation steps, but you also from the new school. And then he responded back with a welcome combo, like, I am BB. He did a spin. And then after he did it, then he shook my hand like, what's up, man? My name BB. I'm like, I already knew. I'm like, my name Jron from Havoc. He's like, man, I heard about y'all. I'm like, dude, I heard so much about you. It's like, I've been dancing since 2002, and I'm just now meeting you in like 2008. This is crazy. Like, yeah, it was dope. But the whole point of it is it's a language, and it's spiritually respected through gangs, through the community, through the police. It been tons of times when the police will pull up, see us footworking, and they be like, oh, they just dancing, drive off. Or certain neighborhoods you may can't walk in, but they're like, oh, those some footworkers. Oh, they're okay. They not on no disrespectful thing, or they not here to cause trouble. They just footworking. So it's like a green pass to a lot of stuff. You know, be in school, get an extra chocolate milk at lunch, you know. The goody goods.
So a little bit. So I mentioned that like it's a male-dominated culture, right? Like, what is your opinion of the gender dynamics in this culture? Like, do you think that it's hard to be like a female footworker? Do you think that like we are as visible and respected as we should be? Just overall, what's your opinion? Because this is a women's college, right? Scripps, yeah. So we are interested in the gender dynamics.
Well, my experience might be different than everyone else's experience. Sorry. So when I came in the group, a lot of Footwork Kings members are from Creation. So when I got asked to come to Creation practice, I was kind of fangirling a little bit because I was like, yo, I'm surrounded by all of these raw footworkers, and they have me in here. So I feel like as a woman, you can get the respect as long as you stay on your stuff and keep training and keep getting better, from my experience. But also from my experience, I was kept away from the rest of the girls. Like, so even if I wanted to get personal relationships or just like sisterhood in general, that was a no, if like they weren't in your group. And so the women were automatically divided and put up against each other. But I don't feel like it's the same way with guys. If a new guy come on the scene, it's not like, oh, he's better than this person, let's put them up against each other. But if a new woman comes on the scene, she's automatically compared to the rest of the women that do it, or, you know, whatever the case is. And I don't necessarily feel like that is fair, because we don't even get a chance to form a bond, to work together or anything, because we're automatically enemies. And I just feel like that is whack. But I feel like you get the respect as long as you keep working. And I just never wanted to feel like the weak link, because I'm surrounded by amazing male dancers, and I feel like they are all just cold for no reason at all. So it's like I just work extra hard as a woman, because it is harder for us. It's stupid, but it is. Did I answer the question?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. So we have this battle coming up. So while I've been filming a documentary, when I go back to Chicago, I try to throw different events. And I threw an event. Jron actually has a studio. Like, he lives Footwork, so he has a studio. And we hosted something called Battle of the Sexes. And I would say that we won.
We definitely won.
We
definitely won.
I would say that we won.
I mean, the guys had a few guys going crazy, but we were going crazier.
And that was my introduction to pause. Like they had been telling me about pause, and I was just like, oh my God, like, you go. Like, you know. And so we're battling again. It's like part 2. And so, like, what's interesting is that, like, we learn from the guys just to come back to return the moves. Like, we make them our own, and like we use them against them. And so it's fun in that respect. Like, I've learned from my style. Like, our styles are like really masculine, whereas in the first generation, women footworked in heels. And it was like really different, right?
Sometimes
and so the guys don't have mercy on us. And so it's like, it's almost
footwork in heels.
Yeah, you did.
I don't make it a habit though, because my group yells at me, so because they don't want me to like hurt my ankles. Sometimes I'm hard-headed, sometimes I listen.
So the only thing I have left, and then we'll turn it over to you guys, is for maybe y'all can talk about like some of the big stages that y'all have footworked on. A lot of students have been interested in like the work that y'all have been doing with Chance and you and Madonna, etc. And then we can turn it over to the students.
Okay. Go ahead. I'll let Paul start.
The most explosive show that I probably felt recently was we did Missy Elliott on MTV. And it was crazy. Even the rehearsals was crazy too. But it was crazy because we had to learn Chicago footwork, but we had to also learn routines and stuff like that. Even if we weren't gonna do it, we had to learn it in order to make it to get on stage. Like, so
after we got called out for our specialty.
That was pretty amazing. The TV stuff is always amazing, but it feels more pressure. It's different. It's a crazy high feeling too, but it's more pressure to not mess up and want to make sure you look good for the cameras and stuff like that, so it's not completely free. When I did do a show with Jron, we did a show at the Apollo Theater. That felt really, really like touching. Like just being on that stage, you know, who's been on that stage. And if I'm not mistaken, I forget what age I was on that stage, but that was a few years ago. So I was young when we did that. I definitely have a lot more, but I've probably been on like 3,000 stages. So all of these floors, it's really just about now it's like me messing up the floor and just putting my stamp on it. But every show it's kind of the same feeling. Like we try to dance. Most of us try to dance like it's 1 million people in here. So if you guys noticed when we was dancing today, you probably would have thought this whole room was filled because that's how we look at it. Because we kind of go blank when we up here, unless like now we have to talk.
Okay, a little bit.
Can you repeat the question one more time?
So just talk about like some of the big stages that you footworked on and what the experience was like.
Yes. So I'll speak on the VMAs. So Missy, we got called out to come footwork for her. And she is the only one that I know that will make you audition for what you got called out for and then send you home if she does not like it after you got called out for that. And so I was just like shook because I'm like, even if you get booked, the gig is not yours until you've done it already. And it's just crazy. So the last two, that was one, and then we performed with Chance at the United Center on September 28th. And it was sold out, no record label, sold out arena, and that was just crazy because it was our hometown. So just to be, because she asked me, she was like, was performing at the United Center better than the VMAs? And I'm like, honestly, it's no comparison because Missy, she's someone that I've watched since I was a kid. I've always wanted to dance with her. I spoke it not knowing that it would actually happen for me. So then that happened, and that was amazing because I have been dreaming about something like that my whole career. And as opposed to Chance, that was a different experience because most of us are from Chicago that he has dancing with him or his band or whatever. So to like be a Chicago dancer behind a Chicago artist that worked his way from the bottom as we worked our way from the bottom, no record label, we don't have no managers, and just for us to be able to do that together with everyone looking back at us screaming from like the floor all the way to the nosebleed seats, it was just crazy. Like I cried after both shows. Don't be like that. Oh, wait, I got one more. Can I speak on one more? I want to speak on the Kennedy Center because I was able to go to the Kennedy Center to perform with the Footwork Kings, which for me was big because I had also gone to the Kennedy Center with my tap company, Mad Rhythms, to perform there. So I was like, yo, I get to dance on this stage doing both styles that I specialize in with the groups that I do this with, and I feel like that is pretty epic. Yes.
Let's see. Well, I can't say the same like little bit. Like I wasn't young watching Madonna. They'd be like, "Ooh, he watching Madonna videos." Ooh, but you know, so that was like forbidden in my household. You know, at a young age to watch that. But yeah, it was actually pretty cool to be able to break that boundary of being the first people to spread Chicago footwork around the world and open up those doors so that we could have opportunities like this, you know, like Chance, Missy, Cedric the Entertainer, Kel Mitchell, man, so many other people. But it was just, it put you on the spot of, I got the world on my back because it was never done before. I could kind of say it's a little easier when you got someone to look up to, like, oh, Jron and them did it, so I can work with this artist. But at the time that when we were doing it, we was the first, and we didn't have guidance as far as how is it like to work with an artist, or how do you be professional in this type of industry. Madonna was my first job, like my first audition, first time in the dance studio, first time learning real choreo. Like, it was my first everything. It was just one time, I just got a call like, oh, it's audition in Cali, and you want to fly out to do it? Like, okay. All right, cool. You're going to leave like in like a few hours. Like, whoa, like that soon? So I flew out and then found out it was from Madonna. And from there, it was crazy because at that time, I was just like a freestyler, so I didn't have no big background. So when I walked into the audition, it was like, I just had a smiley face on the paper for my resume. Like, I don't ever dance with nobody. And you got all these people that dance with, like Chris Brown, they got booklets, and you just got me with a smiley face and a number, like, and and that's facts. So when I booked the Madonna tour, it was like, whoa. It was kind of like, is really not about who you perform with. It's about who you really are. And the spark that you have inside, you just got to show it regardless. And so being put on that tour was a big test. I'll never forget the biggest moment on the tour. Well, it was two things. One was we was in rehearsal and Madonna has a song by herself that she just playing her guitar called Miles Away. And some random reason, she was like, I want Jron and Charles to dance next to me. And it was like, okay. So we're just like freestyling by her in rehearsal. And she like, remind you, it's like 5 minutes left for rehearsal. And she's like, okay, practice over. I want you guys to make up a routine and y'all gonna do it in the show tomorrow. Like, wait, what? Like, we have a whole concert tomorrow that we never, you want us to just make up a whole routine and perform it tomorrow with no rehearsal? Like, yeah, I believe you guys. I'm like, wow, that's some trust. So we did the show. We was up late night. And like I said, the world was on our shoulder as far as we represented Chicago. We set in the bar of how strong Chicago really are. So anything that get thrown at us, we're gonna execute it, no doubt. You know what I'm saying? Go hard to go home. We're not playing. So when next day we executed that show, and when we did that, when Madonna saw us take that challenge, she basically was like, yo, y'all guys are dope. I want to honor you guys and give y'all own segment in the middle of my concert. I'm going to get off the stage and let you guys just have a whole number to yourself dedicated to Chicago Footwork. It's going to be like a boxing number where you're going to be boxing and footworking, but I'm going to be off the stage in my own concert, and y'all got the whole concert for like good 6 minutes. So that was like a big thing to me of any stage I've been on, to be like, I'm at a Madonna concert, not really dancing behind her, but I'm featured. Me and my partners right here featured doing Chicago Footwork in her show, and it's 80,000 people just screaming, going crazy. And then to end her show, she was like, I want to learn how to do Chicago Footwork. So we taught her some basics, like the erg and jerks, like I did earlier. And we closed the show with Chicago Footwork in a song called Give It To Me. So that was like, I can't, like, no stage top that.
We'd like to turn it over now, if you have any questions.
Hello, so my name is Brian Bishop. I'm a sophomore at Pomona College. So you said it's Chicago Footwork, comes from Chicago, except, now there's 4 generations of it, right? 5 generations of it, and you guys have performed on international stages. I was wondering where, or if you have stories about places where Chicago Footwork has, been, if there's any Chicago Footwork groups that's not in Chicago.
Outside of Chicago?
Yeah, even in another country or somewhere else in the U.S. or.
Creation has a lot of chapters. We have a chapter in Atlanta, L.A., Arizona, Japan, and Brazil.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm about to say Havoc. We just in Japan.
Yeah, most of those people are our students. So of course we can't, as an example, in LA we're not here, but with footwork, when you teach it, it's mostly about loyalty. So once you get that connection with someone, you basically just tell them go get 100 people, and they get 100 people. You come back and it's 300 of people that's doing Chicago Footwork. So it's pretty dope though, because in Chicago it's different because it's groups. But in other places of the world where people just out of nowhere learn Chicago Footwork, they actually fall in love with it and really share it, and then numbers just grow. So.
We actually have one of our members in India right now, creating a whole scene over there. So we'll probably have a Creation India soon.
And I have one just follow-up question to that. So since this is a relatively, like you said, 5 generations. Do you see it becoming not Chicago Footwork anymore then? Maybe like now it's India Footwork or something, or I don't know.
Well, I was gonna say that's interesting that you say that because Chicago Footwork is really it's really focused on the lower body due to the feet, and Chicago Footwork has been influenced by a lot of different styles, from jazz, from house to tap, many things, African, all types of stuff. So it already is a mixture of different things. Once we went on tour, we got exposed to a lot of styles that we didn't see in Chicago as often, like poppin', lockin', tut, breakdance, a lot of things like that. So when we was on the road, we started incorporating different styles in our Chicago footwork, but not losing the essence of our foundation. So we will change the upper body. For example, our lower body will still have the foundation, but our upper body could do whacking, tutting, popping, you know, it could always switch the upper body to whatever style I wanted, but I'm never losing the foundation. So when I teach, and I know, as I can speak for my brother King Charles as well, which is the leader of Creation, one thing we made an oath as when we taught outside of Chicago to always spark the creativity in the students that we teach, because everybody will be coming from different dance backgrounds. But when we teach, to make sure they don't lose the essence of the fundamentals. Teach them to play with the fundamentals and to add on to, but never erase the fundamentals, because then it will no longer be footwork. So with that being said, with Chicago Footwork and spreading across overseas, Japan, Russia, all of that, they're always learning the foundation and the moves of the basics, and they're building on top of that. So whatever style they come from, if they was, let's say, a popper, they're learning the foundation of footwork and adding popping as the seasoning to their upper body, as far as where should I put my arm? Where should my placement be when my arms is doing this? Oh, be creative, you know what I'm saying? Use the arms that you would use while you pop, but use the lower body. I know it would be kind of like this, you know, but at the end of the day, our powers are unlimited as humans, so it shouldn't be that hard if you put your mind to it. So, yeah, I don't see it not becoming Chicago footwork, because the basic and foundation will always be there.
We've actually been pretty adamant about like not losing the origins of Chicago footwork. So I came here to figure out what was happening on the LA scene. We came to film, and that's when I met Joey here. And I think Joey can attest to the fact that like it's even still called Chicago footwork here, right? Yeah, it's still called Chicago footwork everywhere actually, and yeah. And what's interesting too is that like what I like is that like even like, you know, like non-black members, they actually go back to Chicago and they inhabit the actual space that Footwork was born in, and they battle like the Chicago footworkers who are there now. Oh yeah, we have a space called Battlegrounds, and it's like it's gritty, like it's like it's not literally an underground region, but like it gives you that feel. And I respect the fact that they're willing to come back to Chicago and inhabit that space, and like, you know, like Footwork, where Footwork was actually born. So
yeah, I was just gonna comment on that as far as just this past summer, my crew, we do this annual picnic for Chicago Footwork, and so this past summer we had people flying from a whole group of people flying from Japan, India, Atlanta, San Fran, South Dakota, all over the world in this park, footworking all day. But at the end of the day, it was all that one love of Chicago footwork. So it would be the same as if it was basketball. It wouldn't be, we play Chicago basketball and you play LA basketball. It's still, we play basketball. So it's always going to be Chicago footwork.
Hey, I'm Gustavo. I'm from Pomona College. I'm also from Chicago, from the South Side.
Hey.
I found out about Footwork in high school. but like you guys said, it's really hard to find like where to go from there because there's no videos on it. Like there's not really much you could research besides words. So I was trying to do my own research and I kind of failed at it. But like I do want to start going into footwork because it's always sparked my interest. And my question is like, where do you start?
If you're here,
yeah.
So we have teachers that teach Chicago footwork. More so that's in North Hollywood. Like at the dance studios. And they also do open sessions on Mondays for anyone that want to come and learn. So it's like a 2-for-1 special, basically. You could come to the session, watch, ask questions, learn slowly, and then come to class and also learn. They teach at ML Studio on Tuesdays, if I'm not mistaken, 7 to 8:20. And they are our students of our group creation. So they'll make you feel at home and make you feel connected and teach you as much as they can for you to stay.
All stay.
And keep
You're in good
learning.
hands.
But you also have Instagram accounts, some of you, and some feeds, right, that are just dedicated to Chicago footwork. So we're in a different age now. Some of them are connected to the Humanities Institute, so you could find them there. Well, I want to thank the audience for being so wonderful and being here and I want to thank all of you for coming and sharing your time with us.
We actually want to thank you for giving us this opportunity.
Thank you.
Very welcome.
Thank you for the opportunity.
So there's more to come. So tomorrow at 12:15, Dr. Battle will be doing a presentation on literary connections to Chicago footwork in the African diaspora. And then following a little lunch break so that she can have lunch, the dancers will then be present at 2 p.m. in the Hampton Room. If anybody wants to learn footwork, we're having a workshop and anybody is welcome because I also
Any
see some
skill level.
I also see some faculty and staff, and so they can also come and
Get a
learn some
workout.
footwork. Anybody can come. So thank you again, and have a wonderful evening, everyone.
Thank you.
Hit them tracks, Joey.
Thank you.